Holy shit. A real fucking icebox.
There is no spoon.
What's wrong?
Seriously? Auto-updating now? General, I won't be able to calculate the right data for the satellite for 49 minutes.
How long till impact?
11 minutes and 44 seconds.
Fuck Microsoft!
Well, they call them interdimensional beings.
He, specifically asked for you, sweetheart.
By our powers combined, we give you the Galactic Family Podcast.
Put the phone down.
Hello, my name is Nick Pope, formerly from the British UFO Desk, and you're listening to the Galactic Family Podcast.
It's probing time.
Yeah, you know what time it is, guys. So this powerful pulse, phenomenon pulse episode, we're exploring what happens when disclosure moves beyond government rooms and enters the pulpit. Hopefully, Tim will be Tim Phillips, former acting Aero director. He'll be joining us here in a few minutes. Alongside of him will be Mike Disclosure of Disclosure Tonight podcast, retired New York City police officer and advocate for advancing the UFO disclosure movement. We'll be diving into clergy, consciousness, UAP truth, spiritual preparedness, and why faith leaders may become a critical bridge between humanity and the reality of non-human intelligence. Let's go, George. Let's get it on.
Yeah, how you doing, Jay? How you keeping? Lots happening in the last week. We've had obviously the first tranche or section drop of files from the Department of War. There's been lots of murmurings about that, and then welcome, Mike Disclosure. Welcome to the chat. Hello there.
Welcome. Nice to have you here, Mike.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is going to be a very interesting interview that you have lined up, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Mike. Anytime. To get along here, we just got our brand new building, actually, George, to let everybody know. We'll be moving into our new podcasting studio building here in beginning of next month.
Jay, could you turn your mic up just a notch? A little bit quiet there, dude.
Can you hear me now?
100%. There we go.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's a little too close. Or too far away.
Yeah, it's exciting times moving into a premises to have the podcast and base of operations ready to go. I'm looking forward to seeing how. There we go. You see, look.
That will be the finished product. That's an AI generation, but once I get the neon sign, that's what we're looking to have on the outside.
And also, I guess in recent news, as a couple of weeks back, we had some issues with the YouTube channel, but those have been resolved now, thankfully, mercifully, and so everything's good to go. If you tuned in, don't forget obviously to hit the like button and all that gubbins. But I just kind of like, I don't know, do you want me to kind of kick off with this one a little bit, and while we're waiting for Timothy to arrive?
Let's go ahead and just start. I mean, we had a huge amount of drops happening. Okay, we had pastors coming out all over the place saying that, we need to say something about disclosure, and they went to a secret meeting in the White House or something. So now getting to that, I mean, we have a pastor here. Well, a pastor talking on a podcast on let me get it here. Oh no, Representative Burleson. Sorry, on the government prospects on the phenomenon religion in the government.
I told President Trump the other day, you need disclosure. We need transparency. America can handle it. I'm sick of hearing this stuff. We can't handle it. It's, and I'm a Christian, and they appealed to me on that level. Barcha, this stuff's kind of anti-Christian, in your beliefs. I said, no, it isn't. Genesis 1, God created the heavens and the earth.
What do they look like? What do they look like? Can you tell me? I mean, you've seen Independence Day. You've seen Aliens. You've seen a few things. What do they look like? Give me that one.
Well, it's not Independence Day, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
So,
well, does that mean they don't look like the aliens from Independence Day, or it's a bit more subtle? I don't know.
I'm not sure, George. I'm not sure. And then playing off of that, we have how now in the past, we've had UFO evidence that are on these tapes, right? And surprisingly, we had someone who's a very, very good friend of this show, who passed away recently, Nick Pope. He came on and he had told us how these tapes were actually being destroyed back in the day, and it wasn't because of any malintent. It was that, we need to use these because they're reusable, and they just reused them. But, so I mean that's one thing we could pull up on the screen now about Nick.
To make one other point, two related points, really circling back to something Tim started with about data. The first is showing my age. I remember when I was doing this at the UK Ministry of Defence in the 90s, data meant radar data literally downloaded onto VHS video cassettes. And we had banks of them, as did the various air defense bases. And they would have, generally speaking, as I recall it, they would have two screens, identical output. An operator would be looking at the first screen and the camera would be filming over the second one. And then that recording would be downloaded onto a VHS video cassette. It would be kept for a month. And then at the end of the month, because nobody wanted hundreds and thousands of tapes, they would take the oldest one, pull it out, stick it in the machine, and re-record over it. So if nobody had figured in a month that there was a question, oh, wait a minute, what about the night of February 13th? We had this thing. Can we check to see if there are any uncorrelated targets? If you didn't do it in a month, it was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's these departments have to save money. We can't archive anything for any long term. So rotating cassette tapes over a month for radar data, it makes sense. But then if you need to correlate something from 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I'm sorry, the tape's been potentially reused.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's no need to kind of like discount Nick's testimony there. I think that would be actually as it would be.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not sure if, where Mike is at all. If so, you kind of like ping ponged. Are you there, Mike? No.
He's ping ponging, I think, between signals.
Okay.
So let's continue on here. So we got the next one we have is, all right, pastors, are being warned to prepare their congregation for the arrival.
Friend that sent me a text message. I was in a meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures, and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
Like, I don't even know where to begin with that one.
Well, I think I'm not going to speak for the entire population of people who follow any particular religion, but you do hear this kind of term, oh, they're just demons, or they're, angels are demons and stuff. And I kind of think, well, maybe that's just something that is factually incorrect in some way, and that the reason why these leaders are being put into the pipeline about hard knock, real reality, physical aliens, physical UFOs is potentially to lessen the impact on those people and maybe start the conversation with the kind of the ones who believe in kind of demons and so on. I mean, yeah, it's
also about narrative control.
Well, a few months back, we pointed out on the show that in the UK, the Bank of England, a contingency planner, had come up with a contingency for the financial markets in the case of, a mothership or something like that coming down. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like hedging your bets, maybe not, maybe so, but if so, we've got the plan. In this instance, maybe not, maybe so. If so, we've got the plan. And there's the financial institutions, the government institutions, and then you have the religious institutions. Mm-hmm. With no particular, kind of like pecking order to that. Yeah. So maybe the kind of conversation on that is more about, like you say, not necessarily narrative control, although maybe some other institutions are about controlling the narrative. So my kind of inkling about, these images that are dropping now from NASA, being told for a long time, we definitely don't have anything like this. We would honestly tell you the truth. And then in the first kind of like gamut of files that are coming out, NASA's front and center in that. So they did actually have these images. They did actually have these official unknown images. And
I remember one time when we had this image on the screen during a podcast, and someone in the chat had said that image has gotten debunked, and I was like, debunked? Well, it couldn't have been debunked, I guess, if it came out during the file drop, right?
Well, you would assume that the file drop would contain cherry-picked bits of information. So, hey, welcome back, Mike.
Yeah, I was having trouble with the connection. I had to log in with StreamYard. So I just came back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's no problem.
We had a conversation about using OBS earlier. It's a possibility for down the pipeline, maybe. So, apologies.
No, it's okay. OBS is a much more stable platform, in my opinion. We use it on Disclosure Tonight.
So yeah, I mean, just while you were away, we shared a video of a preacher type pastor, religious character, talking about being in a meeting where him and other religious leaders were told to go and speak to or have answers prepared if they're asked questions about either NHI, aliens, UFO, UAP, and these kind of things. Obviously, kind of like there are many institutions on the planet, financial banking institutions, administrative government bureaucracy institutions, and also, you know, theological religious institutions based in various locations. So do you think this kind of plays, Mike, do you think this plays into either a controlled narrative or more like damage control?
Well, it would depend. I know there was a financial analyst for the Bank of England.
Yeah.
And she came out and wrote a paper about what the impact of full disclosure, how it would affect the financial markets around the world. She made some very good points about how it would be disruptive to a degree, but it would also maybe enhance some of the financial aspects of this type of technology if it came out.
Sure.
So I believe that it's not a controlled type of disclosure. We have right now the president of the United States that is seemingly on board with bringing the truth out. So I guess we're going to see how this progresses moving forward.
And I actually have a question for Mike.
Yeah.
Now you vet people, you know, how they are around you, how they talk, you know, if they come to you with a story, you vet them and everything.
Of course.
What makes a witness believable when they describe something impossible?
How they seem to be being sincere, and if they have any evidence to support or back up their claims, it usually makes it more believable when you're having a discussion with them if they're lying or not. Then again, people who are not being honest often tip their hand because they can delve into very quickly things that are seemingly impossible and therefore beyond the realm of possibility. So it depends on the individual. Everybody's different. So
okay. Thank you.
Do you think, Mike, with this I'm aghast to use the word tranche, but this section, this slice, this first release of documents, do you think there is a how would I put this? Like the initial release is quite mild. The second one becomes a bit more intense, and by the third one, everyone's geared up for something major. Or do you think it's going to be of a similar quality across? I mean, I'm asking you to look in the crystal ball a little bit, but certainly, do you think if there was, you know, parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 in these releases, that it would make sense to ramp things up sequentially?
It's a good question, George. I got to tell you, I am a little biased in my answer for the simple fact that there's a theory, and the theory goes like this. We've talked about it on Disclosure Tonight, me and Thomas, quite often. The government is in a sticky situation because if you have proof, let's say, of a bolt that was recovered, but upon scientific analysis, you determine beyond a shadow of a doubt that this bolt, just nothing more complicated than a simple bolt, was not manufactured here on Earth, is something extraterrestrial or something that is non-human origin, the government would be hard pressed to admit as something as simple as that. Because if they were to confirm that something like that would exist, they would then open themselves up to a Pandora's box of questions that would go much further down the rabbit hole on what they know and what they've been hiding. And I don't think that's something that in over 80 years that they've been really covering this up, that they would want to expose themselves in that way. Because they don't have all the answers. I know that already.
Right. Yeah. I think
Right.
you're bang on the money there, 100%. I've often said, you know, like different nation states have their force projection on the world stage.
Right.
And so when you're, you know, off the coast with your as much might as you can muster as a projection of power, if one of these things turns up and does loop-de-loops around you and you can't knock out of the sky, then it kind of renders your projection a little bit kind of, well, you know. So yeah, just admitting to a simple, you know, off-world bolt, as you describe it, they're going to scrabble to kind of get that bolt, tuck it away, hide it away behind national security, and say, you know, that no bolt was recovered, or can neither confirm or deny a bolt ever existed in the first place.
Exactly, George. No, you hit the nail right on the head. That's the problem with the government coming forward with information on this subject. Because if they did admit anything outside of prosaic explanation, they would then have to deal with an onslaught of questions that would go much deeper than that. And I don't think that's something that they're willing to do at the moment. I could be wrong. I hope I am. I hope this administration right now is more open to bringing the truth out finally, after 80 years of this cover-up.
Yeah, and potentially older as well. I think just, you know, if I get asked a question and I don't know, I say I don't know. I need more information, or I just don't know. When we go to the people who are, you know, running the show and we say, well, what is this? Do you know? If they turn around and say we don't know, it's almost like they embarrass themselves in some way. I don't think they should feel embarrassed like that. I think, like, our administrations go, okay, this is what we've got, but we really don't know what's happening.
Right.
You know,
I agree with that.
Unless, of course, you know, like putting on the other hat as well is the kind of the thing of maybe they do kind of have way more of an understanding of what's happening with biologics and crash retrievals and other things. Maybe there's a lot of information which is hidden for the like the reason you stated there with the bolt, but also hidden because it's you know, this concept that we would panic and run down the street setting fire to our own properties and our own shops and things, or do a run on the banks, or, you know, these kind of things, which I think is perhaps in 2026 maybe a bit of a fallacy. I think you know, we're kind of ready for it. I think most of the population would kind of go, oh, okay, well, we kind of suspected this, but now it's been confirmed. It's you know, like full on disclosure, and then we can still, you know, go to the supermarket the next day and get our cheeseburgers, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep.
Yeah. I think my internet got knocked out temporarily, so I'm on cellular right now. So my apologies.
No problem.
You're fine. You're fine. So we're just let's see here. So go ahead.
I was going to say shout outs to Side Chat, Scooby Dooby Goobies, Witter Elf, thank you so much. And their Film TV Biz, and Kathy. Hey Kathy 1944. Hello, welcome, and everyone else tuned in at this time. We've got Mike Disclosure from Disclosure Tonight in the house. He's going to be chatting with us and giving his viewpoint on things. A serious researcher in the field, ex-New York Police Department, with those detective and superpowers that these guys get trained in. So yeah, it's all kind of exciting. We're hoping Mr. Timothy Phillips is going to make an arrival.
Yeah, he did tell me he was going to make an arrival, George. So I'm just wondering, did he get another phone call from his contractor?
Well, yeah, you never know.
Inside joke. Well, all right.
We're geared up.
Yeah, we're geared up. So, all right. So, just moving on here, we've got another pastor coming out on the podcast talking about disclosure.
I find out that he is part of a private group of Christian intelligence operators.
That's terrifying.
And I say that very specifically and as pure as possible. He is not government. He is not part of an intelligence agency, not NSA, CIA, none of the alphabets. As far as I know, he is part of a private group of Christian intelligence operators. They are operating privately on intelligence with disclosure. Their goal was to gather intel and data. And again, this is my understanding. Their goal is to gather intel and data on what this disclosure stuff is. I don't know what their opinions were of it when they first started the operation, but as they started gathering intel and data and rubbing shoulders with a lot of people, I am like bottom of the totem pole type person. That's why maybe I feel so weird about that. I don't feel qualified to be the person talking about this. They gathered a lot of intel, and they came to believe that what is happening is deeply spiritual. What people are experiencing is deeply spiritual, and that what the majority of the experiences are when it comes to, let's just say for generic surface level terminology, abductions, alien abductions, is demonic in nature. And there's an element of this UAP phenomenon and entity phenomenon that is fueled by fallen angels and fallen angel technology.
And we'll just stop it right there, because when it comes to the angels and demons narrative of it, it's not good, bad. I was just talking to actually my girlfriend today about it, and they're people. They're neither. It's like talking to you, George. You know, you have your own agendas, you have your own feelings, why would they be any different? They have their own agendas, feelings, too. It's not going to be just angels and demons.
I think, Lady Danielle and Mike, feel free to jump in on this at any time. I think we all, we have this kind of outlook through our senses, and then we decode reality through our language and our belief patterns and our paradigm of understanding. So, depending which lens that you put over your vision to be able to interpret reality, you'll see that reality, even if somebody else doesn't see it. One of the things that has always impressed me about, say, for example, detective work, is the fact that when, for example, if an accident takes place and there are multiple witnesses, each witness, and please back me up on this, Mike, each witness will see a different aspect of the event. And so the kind of detective work is piecing together the different angles, the different visions, the different lenses of the different people who witnessed the event to really get more of an understanding of what the event actually was. So when you have a belief structure or a paradigm of understanding, you're looking through those lenses to decode your reality based on the language you have. Does that make
Absolutely right. No, it makes perfect sense, George. I think you're absolutely correct about that. But I got to tell you, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I always have been. And there was a Star Trek 5 that was about an alien that was claiming to be God. And when they arrived on the planet and they were confronting this entity that demanded the Enterprise, the starship, Captain Kirk had said, why would God need a spacecraft or a starship? I think that's true for demons or angels or whatever they're claiming this is in a religious aspect. They wouldn't need technology like spacecraft or the UAP that we see operating around the planet. So when they get into the religious aspects of this, I think it's really changing the narrative about what this phenomenon actually is. And they're using their own belief structure, like you said, George, to confirm or have an understanding in terms that they can wrap their heads around to make sense of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's accurate. If you start to go down a religious aspect on the phenomenon, I believe you're putting disinformation out. It's not accurate.
Yeah, 100% agree. Go ahead, Lady D.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, I personally feel it's like a kind of like a cargo cult situation, because that's what people kind of interpreted of world people as. But it's got to get to the point, people got to understand. It's like people, believe the planet was flat and that people didn't land on the moon and all that stuff. It's the same sort of thing. It's they're finding it hard to understand that there are people from other star systems. And I personally have been a victim of the narrative, angels and demons narrative, with my oath parents, and it was hell.
Religion should play no part in it, pretty much.
Yes.
But I just think also kind of it's I'm gonna say something really cynical and skeptical, which may be quite controversial, and I don't mean to kind of imply that is so. It's just a point that is something to be considered. If you think off the top of your head, an extremely large software antivirus company, there's probably one or two, three or four you can mention. Is it not in their interest to develop the things that they cure? Right. So if these kind of subjects are covered in any depth in older grimoires and books, or covered in such thing, it kind of is self-perpetuating in a lot of ways, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, Georgia. I could also tell you that it gets in the way and blocks any type of true disclosure from coming out to the public and the rest of the world, the public at large. One of the reasons that Lou Elizondo had resigned back in 2017 is because he was trying to get the information that he uncovered from ATIP to the Secretary of Defense at the time, General James Mad Dog Mattis. The problem was he had to go through General Mattis's inner circle, and who he encountered was what is referred to as the Collins Elite, which is a group of middle management bureaucrats within the U.S. government that are devout religious believers. And they take this subject and attribute it to demons, which is exactly what they had told Lou, that they're not going to bring this to General Mattis because they already know that they're dealing with demons, and it's something that they don't want to engage in, which led to his resignation. So, I mean, these people who are so devoutly religious and will try to block this information from coming out because they believe that they're fighting demons, all it ends up really doing is blocking the truth from coming out because of their own biases. And I think that's a problem that's been going on for decades within the government.
Yeah,
and
for
I don't
sure.
see that changing now.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like in the United Kingdom, our government is broadly speaking secular. Like, no decision of a civil servant should be made based on any religious viewpoint.
Not at all. I agree
So,
with that.
where you have people holding particular books of faith and then going into politics, it doesn't. For me, it leaves a bitter taste in the mouth a little bit. That this is kind of, are you doing this for votes, or are you doing this genuinely, or are you going to make your decision-making paths be based on those books of faith and so forth?
Right, which would get in the way of the government functioning the way that it should by having the truth as opposed to their own religious beliefs getting in the way of that and preventing it from happening. It's like oil and water. It doesn't really mix. So I agree with you on that, George. 100%.
Mike and Jay and Lady Danielle, I think a number of years ago, maybe 5, maybe 10 years ago, the Vatican, the state within a state of Italy, had a meeting of their observation astronomers to discuss about potential contact and theological questions to do with such things. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, you please fact check me, I think that particular faith came to the conclusion that they would ordain a off-worlder, ultra-terrestrial, whatever, in the faith itself. So that then begs more theological questions. And what I wanted to ask Mike, Jay, and Lady Danielle was, if your local pastor was, 3.5 foot tall with big black eyes, would you go to the church to listen to the sermon?
It's a good question, George. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know, maybe out of curiosity. I'm not particularly religious, but I can tell you that it would be an interest for most people just to see that something like that existed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not outside of the boundaries. In the, I think it's Japanese Buddhism. They've ordained a robot to give sermons and give instruction to Buddhists.
Right.
So we now have AI robots blessing people and so on and so forth. So fact check me on that one. That's true. I know that for a fact. But I think, like if another species arrived here and we could communicate somehow, and perhaps they're humanoid, perhaps they're not. But if they wanted to join a particular faith, would those faiths allow them, or is it human only? And then that begs the question: well, is it, if the big person in the sky says human only, what does that mean for the big person in the sky?
Well, getting back to the Vatican real quick, I could tell you, George, that Pope Francis had said when he was asked about the possibility of aliens, he said they're all God's creatures as far as he's concerned, and he would have no problem in baptizing all of them. So, and as far as the Vatican is concerned, I could tell you David Grush testified that in 1933 in Magenta, Italy, there was a craft that was recovered by the Italians. And in 1945, at the end of the Second World War, the Vatican reached out to the U.S. government and arranged to have that craft recovered and brought back to the United States. So the Vatican is aware of this phenomenon and how real it is, and they've been involved in it over the decades to assist in having this sent over to where they believe we have more information, like the U.S. government. That's why they did that transfer back in 45.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like in that particular case, do you know how long the Vatican were kind of put in charge of the object that was recovered? I mean, was it
33?
33, 33, right the way through till 45? Did you say?
To the end of the Second World War, and then they reached out to the United States and arranged the transfer. So the Vatican is well aware of this. They know a lot more than they're publicly saying.
So that lead, yeah. I mean, And also recently in the news, the Vatican secret library, or not so secret library, but the Vatican archive was closed, and it's the first time it's been closed in 400 years, as far as I'm aware.
Right. That's very interesting, and they're not really sharing a lot of information about that.
So I've got a question. If aliens are all of God's creatures and they can be ordained, does that
Right.
also mean if they're possessed by a demon that they can be exorcised by a human?
That's a good question. I like that. I don't have an answer for you on that because again, I'm not really religious, but
Yeah.
I guess in theory that could very well be the case. But that's if you believe that there are supernatural forces at play here.
I think that my interaction with the wider community within UFO, UAP, NHI, there is a paranormal aspect to this. We've spoken to John and Jerry Tedesco, very strange hitchhiker effects after the fact of witnessing something unusual. In my life, personally, I've had a couple of unusual things that I can't account for, whether that's supernatural or my own inability to understand what's happening, perhaps.
Right.
But I think, and Bob Lazar said, he just said that we're containers, and he didn't really finish the sentence about what containers for. Hey, Lady Danielle, yeah.
Yeah, this is about Bob Lazar. He's kind of got the containers thing a bit back to front, because basically what actually he's saying that Earth humans are containers is wrong. What he's probably trying to sell is that all bodies are like containers for the consciousness, and then you can do consciousness transferal, perhaps from the organic body to the biobots or something like that, and back and forth.
My kind of like concept now is like, well, if we all have a divine aspect to us, a spark or a ghost in the machine, and aliens would have that as well, I wonder, what, it begs questions about. There's some heavy questions about this, and just for anybody tuned in, listening now or later on, I don't want to step on any toes. People are free to believe whatever they want to believe. It's not my place to say what's right or wrong. It's just,
I agree with that, George. You're right.
Sometimes you have to ask difficult questions. And Jay shared some information, some videos earlier on of various pastors talking about this, and it must be, from their perspective, the religious leaders, it must be a heck of a conversation that's taking place behind closed doors,
I would imagine.
Recently,
probably that's correct.
We're traveling, and we had an encounter with something that we've never experienced before. And now, when I talked about this just recently, many people in our comments feed and through our live broadcast began to ask us to bring it out and show you what we encountered. Now, what we encountered was 6 objects in the sky out in front of the aircraft. We were flying from Tennessee to Colorado Springs, and we began to see 6 objects right there in the sky. And we believe these are UAPs and UFOs. So when we saw this, we just thought to ourselves, my goodness, what in the world are we looking at? How do we grapple with this? It was a very interesting thing. Now, uniquely enough, we were just in a disclosure meeting 2 days before this, talking about UFOs, UAPs, all these things, and that there's going to come a great disclosure, even an announcement that we're not alone in the universe, we're not alone, and there's non-human intelligence that is absolutely happening all over, or in the highest offices of the land, or they know about it, that kind of thing.
That would be incredible. Right there, that statement alone. That's all I want to know is, are they here and why are they here? And we can get to the why, but are they here? And then we can move on from that and just, continue.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of come back on Lady Danielle's comment about the cargo cult. right? So we have all this. We've always had technology. We've always had technology, be it fire, be it a stone axe, something along those lines. We've always had technology. We are tool makers, and we interpret our environment through the tools that we have. In this current time scale, we have computer technology, and we have jet aircraft, and we have all these things. And through the years, these things in the skies have been witnessed. And maybe we're at the point in the modern era where, we talk about alien reproduction vehicles or recreating vehicles based on the characteristics of the things that we've seen in the sky. But that would cover like the cargo cult aspect to this. So, if you didn't have the lexicon of language to interpret these things in detail, as we maybe have more of a chance of doing now, going back 10,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years, you could see how an entire belief structure could arise out of witnessing something like a cargo cult that you don't fully understand. I think that the good example of that would be indigenous tribes people seeing an aeroplane for the first time and seeing people make a clearing in the forest and the plane landing and then taking off and it overgrowing. And then those people in those tribes kind of build little structures and clear places to kind of beckon the gods back down. And like that concept, it seems absurd, but it's true. It's, I recommend folks go and look up what a cargo cult is, and then use that potentially to interpret where we are now with modern technology, modern language, looking up at the heavens, looking up at the sky, seeing these things, kind of going, well, they move like this. Can we do stuff like this? Can we move around? I think kind of, there's a big portion of the community where we want, genuine contact of some description, good or ill, negative or positive. It feels like it's time for us to grow up and join our place in a wider arena and not limited by just surface dwelling. So
And
whether
we
that's
heard
sorry, Jay.
No, you're good, man. I was just waiting for you to finish.
I thought, my goodness, this is quite the disclosure meeting. And they were prepping us to be leaders in the space from a biblical perspective, to bring people to the saving knowledge of Jesus and help the church avoid deception and not knowing what to do if they encounter these kind of things.
So how do you get the church to avoid deception when they've been doing it all along?
I think from an outside perspective, deception is a strong word. I think kind of maybe delusional is probably a better word. And I'll refer you back to the monologue I just gave on the cargo cult. If you're in that tribe and you're cutting down the rainforest to make a landing strip and you're making a structure to summon the gods back down because you've seen one aeroplane land before, there would be people in the tribe who go like on the outside going, you guys are crazy. It never occurred. It doesn't happen. There is no gods in the sky flying Cessnas. So I think deception is a strong word. Delusional might be a little bit better. But then that's quite disparaging as well. And I wouldn't want to disparage people who, like I believe in Santa Claus. So
not to disparage them, but to make their own judgments with their own research on top of asking for someone else if they have some knowledge they could add to. Not
There was this discussion in Backchat today on the Discord server about wisdom and information contained within faith books, without not necessarily prescribing to the dogma or doctrine of those books, but gleaning the hidden information or understandings out of it. Yeah, go ahead.
What I was going to say is I just didn't like the idea that it was like a secret group, where I feel these sort of discussions should be open for the public, because what I'm concerned is like these secret groups probably might go and end up forming militias or things like that to disrupt public first contact, and it could make public first contact ending up something that's supposed to be beautiful and loving and family reunion ends up a mess.
Yeah.
So
No, I totally understand that. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the 1954 film The Day the Earth Stood Still? I think it's 1954, black and white, with the big robot, and it lands in Washington DC, and the guy gets out, and the military all lined up, and a young recruit can't help themselves but takes a pop, which is for the story, and yeah, I mean, I think like it's any humans, if I could step out of my shell for a minute and say, kind of humans are dangerous pack animals. We've kind of shown that, and I think, but yeah, just to come back, kind of secret groups organizing within a religious background smacks of something that could be potentially very dangerous, not only for them, other people, and potentially other species and off-worlders or underworlders or everything in between. We want the nuts and bolts, but yeah, I think that there are some serious theological questions to be asked here by this, but the only people who can answer those questions are those people themselves. I think for us outside, it's speculation about unless you have some kind of faith or a segue into a church or a group or these kind of things. Certainly kind of you can't discount the power of church and state together. It's a heck of a thing. And so there was a comment earlier on in side chat. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit and I'll pin it to the screen because it
Here's a question though, isn't it legally, isn't it supposed to be church and state be separate? So why is there a church pasture meeting at the government secret office? Like, it's supposed to be separate, right?
Correct, Jay. There shouldn't be any overlap with religion dominating over the operation of government. So church and state, at least in the United States, is supposed to be separate. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I also want to give you a reminder, almost an hour into the live broadcast. Can you send Tim a gentle reminder he's running late?
Yeah, I've sent him 2 already. He's on mobile on LinkedIn, so.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, well, fashionably late. It's okay.
Yeah, I hope. Well, I mean, I don't know if Tim will turn up, but hopefully he will.
Hopefully he will.
Hopefully he will. I mean, he's like I said during our last contact with him on the podcast, he was called away by his contractor and disappeared quite quickly. So hopefully he's got a green light. Tim, if you're watching, you have a green light to come on and have a chat. No worries, no stress. We'll keep bumbling along. I think absolutely secularism, and you can't. Maybe there is a science of spirituality, a science of the paranormal, or a science of the metaphysical, but really the tools of science are such that it takes priority. And what I mean by that is for example, in some can you say that? Yeah, I'm just trying to pick my words. I don't want to get like demonetized again. In cases at the New York Police Department, did you ever use psychics to pick up traces that otherwise you wouldn't have got a hold of a lead for certain cases? That happens.
Yeah.
It happens in certain police departments, like usually in the Midwest, where they're much smaller, they have less resources, and they require any type of, especially with a cold case or where they're stuck, they need people who can offer some assistance, regardless if it's accurate or not. But larger departments, like here in New York or in California with the LAPD, it's not something that's routine, George.
Yeah, would you say that forensic science is free from spiritual or religious overtones, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It has to be for
Yeah.
it to function.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if we're looking at this topic, I think we need that more kind of forensic scientific approach as opposed to looking through the lens of, like I said earlier, like having the lens of a belief structure based around faith.
No, it wouldn't work. If you had a police structure that was solely based on faith, it would not function. It wouldn't be able to accomplish what it does every day because the religious aspects of it would get in the way. And you have to have a more nuts and bolts approach for science to work. That's what science is based on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 100%.
you're right on that.
So this video you've got here, Jay, that's kind of partway through. I don't know if you want to like.
So what we did is we received that information. We began to talk about it. The next day, the president puts out a post that says he has authorized the specific agencies involved to find the truth of the matter of aliens, UFOs, UAPs, and all these issues and bring them out to the public. The day after that, we were traveling. This would be February 20th, 2026. We're flying. And as we were flying, we began to see these 6 UFOs appear out in front of us. Now, I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I'm about to show you the footage. But I've talked to a lot of people about it, and some said, well, that's probably just drones over the nation. Others have said, and some of the ones I spoke with are actually some of the highest experts in the area of UFOs, UAPs, non-human intelligence, and the like. And when I spoke with them, they said, well, it could be drones, but it also really could be this other scenario that many people are talking about, and it could be part of this disclosure narrative that's coming forward.
I think it could be drones. But okay. But here's the thing then you get into the questions like, why would you fly drones through a thunderstorm? You know, I just bought a drone for like $200-$300, $400, you know. It's not cheap for me to go buy a couple hundred drones at $400 a piece and fly them and wreck them.
How about okay? So you've got a more like a situation where you've got a vehicle with a pilot inside, right? And out of that vehicle comes alien drone technology, right? So whilst using, you know, I may knock heads here with Mike a little bit because I remember our chat on Disclosure Tonight, which I heartily recommend everyone goes to check out. Mr. Fessler, Thomas Fessler, and Mike Disclosure et al. On Disclosure Tonight. Great live show, great interaction. Really enjoy it. And I sit there sometimes. I'm eating my crisps and I'm typing away and enjoying it. You know, and I'm going to use the word so-called drones because we don't know if some of these things have a pilot or not, and maybe that covers the whole gamut of discs, tic tacs, triangles. You know, until we're shown, you know, the hatch opening up and the thing walking out or hobbling out or scurrying out or slipping out or however the mode of movement actually is. Is it not possible that some of these anomalous sightings are drones? I mean, I think the next question is whether there are technology, human, reproduction vehicle technology, human, or whether they're legitimately an unknown technology. But humans have drones, so I don't see why any other species which is capable couldn't have drones themselves.
Very true. Go ahead, lady.
Yes, I personally experienced interacting with one of the mostly what people call orbs. They have like a plasma layer on, but they sometimes can turn off their plasma layer, and it appears like a metallic sphere. And it's not the booger sphere, but this is more complicated, more complex. It's like a nanotechnology thing where the front opens up like an eyeball, and they can look around. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like nothing's outside the when it comes to what we imagine alien to be. Nothing comes outside of the boundaries, right? So this is your video, Jay, as far as I'm aware. So with an object like this, really it is an unknown. Whether there's a little green man inside flying around waving, whether there's a host of little green men inside waving, or whether it's a drone of some kind, or whether it's just a natural Earth-like phenomena, right? I don't know. What's your inclination on it, Joe? What's?
I mean, I've always said that this doesn't look like a solid plasma ball. I've always said it looks like it has some kind of structure behind it. So
right.
That's where my basis goes on this one here.
Scooby Dooby inside chat has got, he says, you can put a lot of drones and a team of pilots traveling around in the back of a semi-truck in air-conditioned comfort. So, I think they call that telepresence, where you've got like a robot and then a human piloting the robot, but they're not in the same location. They're in different
project,
like different locations.
Called Project.
Whoop, sorry.
No, that's right. That's right. No, so yeah, I just think, what we saw with the East Coast of America specifically, and then what was then like the narrative of like mystery drones, then it went to New Jersey drones, then it went to drones over the UK military sites, then it went over to Europe, and then it kind of went back again. So lots of speculation, lots of theory, but no real answers. I remember the conversation. Yeah, go ahead. So you want to say something, Dee?
Yes, that's my orb that I managed to photograph.
Wow.
And you can see it's spherical with an eye-like thing that's looking at you in this.
Oh, okay, yeah, like an iris, like a
yeah.
Nice.
Very
That's
strange.
awesome.
You were in a project called Project Stargate. Can you talk about Project Stargate?
Yeah, so let me be very clear. Stargate at that point had supposedly ended. What there was were these vestigial pockets of individuals who were part of that program that were trying to revamp, to basically
bring it back.
Rebirth it. Yeah, rebirth it, bring it back. Okay. And so Stargate started quite some time, several decades ago, in the late 60s and early 70s by a gentleman named Dr. Hal Puthoff. Dr. Hal Puthoff had worked for various intelligence agencies, worked for Stanford University, and the CIA was very interested in trying to gain a strategic advantage over the Russians.
And that is where we could stop right there and pause it. Is we're always trying to get the strategic advantage because, other countries we're competing with other countries on this on disclosure, on the movement, on the technology, on the science, on everything.
Yeah, there's I watched a snippet of Jeremy Corbell from Weaponized on Chris Ramsey's Area 52 discussing the latest documentary film about Jeremy and his work called Sleeping Dog. And what he was saying was that in a situation where you're using your advanced technology to gather intelligence on another competitor, another state, for example. So you're, doing active spying operations, flying your U-2 spy plane very, very high up, very fast, maybe an SR-71 or whatever the technology is now, Aurora, or maybe even TR-3B. But when you're using this human advanced technology to gain an edge, and then into the frame of your photo analysis comes and a crazy object that you have no explanation for. It shouldn't be there. It's not theirs. It's not yours. Suddenly you're left with this dilemma. You've got photographic and video imagery taken from your secret technology that shouldn't exist over another nation state. You shouldn't be there. And then in the middle of it, you've got this kind of weird, UAP taking place. So this is why those things are kind of so secret, is because it's like, look, there's a UAP, UFO. That's cool. Where is this? Oh, this is deep in Siberia. Okay, what was it taken with? A TR-3B. Right. So, like, one, you shouldn't be there. Two, it's in your advanced technology, but it does contain the UAP information. So I kind of get that whole national security thing. I get that. Must be quite difficult to really go through the information there. But
you keep saying national security.
You've suddenly you go from the point of saying, well, maybe we're the only intelligent species in the universe, and then you suddenly get the idea that this is a universe full of life.
What does that mean for religion?
I think all dogmas will just apply to it, and I think the Vatican's already gotten ahead of it and said, they put out a message a couple of years ago that basically the gist of it was, God's universe and God's work is vast, and
it's vast, and
like basically
you couldn't say that he wouldn't have the ability to do that. I mean,
yeah. So
in fact, from a religious
think,
standpoint, and certainly in the case of the Catholic Church, they've had very positive views about population being throughout the universe.
And there's nothing really, at least from the Catholic Church's perspective, there's nothing that counters it doesn't allow you to wrap your head around the fact that there's other life out there.
Are you guys religious?
Not like overly religious, but like my mom's Irish and grew up going to Catholic school, and I went to CCD on Sunday school. It's called a CCD where I grew up. But
do you believe in God?
I do.
Do you believe in God?
I do too. Yeah, and I'm a practicing Catholic.
So would that mean that you believe God has made all of these aliens as well?
That's what my worldview is.
Yeah, I would think that I couldn't say that's not the case, but
there you go.
As a scientist, I can't prove that it is the case, but just on a statistic.
That's the first time I've heard that Hal Puthoff explained a bit about his personal faith. Obviously, like interesting character. Now a little bit more interesting, because amongst all of the makeup of Hal Puthoff is a doctrine of religious theology, Catholicism at this point. That's interesting little takeaway for me there. And I like how Dan Farrar, also practicing Catholic, said that the Catholics have a head lead on this. So, like, is this another race of some kind of like to get your, I'm not sure where King Charles and the Church of England, King Charles is the head of the Church of England, Protestant Christian faith. I'm not sure where we are with that. Maybe I know the royal family has been on record as being very interested in said topics. But I think like if we could make a prediction, Jay, I'm going to ask you this one, bro. Like we were talking about the financial contingency planning with the Bank of England document. We've talked about the state, the administration, bureaucracy, governments coming out, giving information. Now we're seeing the next institution, the religious institution, coming out and giving information to their people. What's the next institution? If we could make a prediction about which is the next kind of like facet, the next facet or part of humanity where this is going to touch on as a topic, or is that everything? Is that all that's all pretty much all the major bases covered, right?
No, I will tell you what I want to see come out. I want to see NATO have an organization to put out UFO disclosure that they know of in their operational proceedings, because it's not just the militaries around the world that have seen it. NATO has their own military might as well. So have they seen it? What are they doing about it? What are they preparing for?
Yeah. And then what about United Nations? The Security Council comes out and gives a briefing on that to the That could be a big one. I think we were beginning to get there in that when Tim Phillips was on that particular podcast. We were talking about kind of backroom briefings by various agents or agencies herein unknown to the front people at the foreign departments, so that when they meet at the United Nations, there could be discussions in the coffee or the cafeteria. I'm sure is a great place to listen to about aliens and various nation states on the planet. It's always the cafeteria or the bars across the street. They're pretty good as well, I hear.
So this is coming from the Guy Casanalamago. Okay. He's a cardinal at the Vatican University or Vatican Observatory. Sorry, not university.
Okay.
Observatory.
Shout outs to Interstellar UAP.
Images they've got, they know better than 1%. You know, if these are the best images they've got, they know better than what we had in 1948. And there's two real reasons why I'm extremely skeptical. And the first is the cell phone in your pocket. Nowadays, we've got machines that show us that cats can play the piano. We've got machines that show us that police brutality really happens. We've got ways of filming and photographing things, which incidentally, 10 years from now, when AI replaces all of this, we won't be able to believe anymore, but up to now. And we don't have anything better than that yet.
Well, I was thinking even now it would be very difficult to believe in the image that you were showing.
Certainly at this point. But more than that, the people who really know the sky the best, the amateur astronomers, the people who are actually outside with their small telescopes looking at the sky, they're the ones who know what's actually there and are not going to be fooled by Venus because they know what Venus looks like. And they're not going to be fooled by interesting things that happen in the sky because they've seen them maybe once every 5 years, but they've seen them before and they know they have natural causes. These are the people who are the most skeptical. I mentioned the SETI Institute. The SETI Institute is exceedingly skeptical of these things. And you'd think they'd be the ones who would be the most desirous of this sort of thing happening. But I'll go back to another point that Neil makes that I was making earlier. Astronomers sometimes are involved in projects where 50 or 100 scientists are going to be co-authors of a paper. When the paper is submitted, you are under a sort of promise that you won't talk about it until the referees have gone through it and said, yes, we've checked the science, and the editors have said, yes, this is worthy of publication. You don't want it to go out early, number one, because it may turn out that you're wrong, and number two, because you don't want to give other people the idea to go look for it too before you get there. Nonetheless, none of these people are able to keep a secret. By the time the paper has been, save has been hit on the last version of the paper, copies of it are already all across the internet because you've got any kind of interesting result. You can't help but share it.
All right. Yeah, that's a good spot to stop right there. Interesting discussion by Guy from the observatory. Just thinking that he doesn't see enough proof out there yet that he can see.
That this specific term, smoking gun, the proof. Have you noticed how everyone's criteria for that is slightly different?
Yeah.
Some people want 4K video, not AI. Some people want White House lawn, little green men. Some people want a sample, a Petri dish.
Yeah.
With a scientist in a lab coat saying something. Some people want some debris, these kind of things. Some people want different criteria. So when various people on the circuit say, I have the smoking gun, I still think to a point that it's not going to impress everybody to come around to that viewpoint. The gentleman Consol Magno, if I've pronounced it right, the astronomer Guy Consol Magno, mentioned science and scientists. And while Mike is here with us, thankfully, I wanted to ask you, Mike, did you have a feeling about the missing scientists of late? Did you have a feeling or an inclination? Do you think this is endemic of a real conspiracy to hide or obfuscate these people associated with the phenomena?
Well, I can answer that, George, and I can tell you that in regards to General Neil McCaslin, we on Disclosure Tonight played the 911 call that his wife had initially made, and she was very clear that she said that due to his failing mental capacity and his physical health, that he was at that point looking to end his life. Now, when this was covered by mainstream media, for some reason, still have no idea why, they omitted that 911 call from being played publicly, and they left that aspect of his disappearance out of the narrative. So if you listen to the 911 call, it's very clear that he had intentions on ending his life.
Did the wife who's making the phone call, did she sound she was under extreme duress, real time adrenaline, or like she's making an emergency call? So what was her vocality like? Was she, you know?
No, she wasn't under a lot of stress from that 911 call. She had gone to a doctor's appointment herself at the time that she left, and he was home. And when she returned, by almost an hour later, and she found that he wasn't there, and he left his wearable, trackable devices like his phone and his watch home, she found it odd, and then she was unable to get in touch with him. So she reached out to the police almost immediately when she got back.
And then after this particular incident with one individual, there was the narrative of 11 scientists, or maybe 14. I think it's 11 scientists missing or gone in some way. And I think our friend and your friend as well, Gene Sticco, is doing some research on various missing entities on a more global arena. You know, I don't want to tease Gene's information. I haven't spoken to him for a while, but it feels like and Jay did a report as well, quite an in-depth 150, was it a 54-page PDF that you put together, like the one that took like 15 hours?
Let me see if I have it here. It's
but Jay was looking for patterns of clusters of missing.
123 pages.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I don't know your feelings on this, Mike. Whether there's some dastardly machinations going on in the background, or whether this is each individual could be dismissed, like, you know, they've gone crazy in some ways, or they've, you know.
I can tell you, George, that the thing that stands out to me is that everyone seems to be lumping all of these disappearances or deaths all together under one blanket. Yeah. And that's not actually the reality of it. I mean, a lot of these individuals that have ended up dead or missing are unrelated. But that's typical when you have instances like this. And a lot of it statistically turns out to be they're not all connected. They're not all tied in together. A lot of it is unrelated. I'll give you another example. Amy Eskeridge, who had committed suicide in 2022. She was dealing with mental issues, substance abuse, And it was something that was well known to anybody that was close to her and knew her, including her own family.
Yeah, her family
And
came out afterwards and said
yeah,
to, please, leave the
leave us alone.
yeah, leave us alone. Leave our daughter's name alone. We want peace.
Right. And I'm an advocate of
Yeah.
their position, and I've stated that publicly on the show on many occasions, sometimes quite energetically, because I feel that the family is a victim and they need to be left alone to grieve and not be constantly reminded of the tragedy that befell that family with her early premature death. And a lot of people in mainstream media and on social media are trying to lump them all in together like it's connected, when in reality, it really isn't. And that's the one thing that stands out for me, at least.
I think also just on that point, like, missing scientists must be UFOs, must be aliens. I think even Luis Elizondo has said, a lot of these cases, certainly in other nation states, could just be the result of what we would lovingly call spy games, right?
Foreign
Right.
actors.
Yes. Yeah, no. Lou is correct on that. And his background in counterintelligence is something he's very knowledgeable about. So, yeah, that is a reasonable explanation for some of those disappearances as well.
I mean, it's very easy with today's media to immediately seize on kind of like, how would you put this? Some kind of MK Ultra mind control radar beam weapon that makes people kind of pop and go crazy and walk out of the house, right? Like,
well, when someone's pushing that narrative, it's usually they're doing it for clicks.
Yeah.
They want attention.
Yeah.
And that stands out to me and Thomas and Lou as well when we see that, because we know it's bullshit, and these people are not being honest about what they're trying to put out there. And it's unfortunate because the public isn't as well aware of these things as we are. So they take that narrative and sometimes they take it to heart as the truth, when in reality, it's really just disinformation.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Your view there, Mike, is level-headed and objective, with no smog or fog or anything like that. You're just basically saying, look at each of these cases individually, see the terms, don't lump them all together, don't just immediately jump on the first conspiracy bandwagon that you come across.
Correct. It's too easy to go down that rabbit hole, and it usually is the wrong direction to go in. It's not going to lead you to the truth. It obfuscates it, and I'm very direct, and I like to cut through the bullshit. Me and Thomas do on the show regularly. That's why we have an audience, because we try to steer our audience in the right direction as far as what they should pay attention to, and a lot of the static and noise that they should just ignore.
Exactly. And we emulate the same amount, the same things you do over here on this show as well, like with Amy Estridge and everything like that. I would rather everybody just, leave the family alone to grieve in peace.
Absolutely. No, I know. And listen, you're also a big part when you come over onto Disclosure Tonight, Jay, as well, and you contribute. And we're all on the same page. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you do the right thing. And we appreciate that. Yeah. Because, listen, if we don't put the public into the right direction as far as the things that they should pay attention to and the things that they shouldn't, they're going to get swept into all of the nonsense and the clicks that people are out there looking to get. And it's not productive for them or for us to get to the truth about any of this.
Yeah.
So keep doing the work that you and George do on the show.
Yeah, appreciate it. And same for you and Lady Danielle. Yeah.
Yes, I've got a joke about that. So when you people go and look for the rabbit hole, you've got to be careful that that you make sure it's a rabbit hole and not a sewer pipe.
Yeah, that would definitely be the wrong hole to go down, Danielle.
Yeah, right.
Oh, bless. Oh, boy. Yeah. And we're really appreciative here at the Galactic family of Disclosure Tonight, Night Shift, Vetted, all the major channels that are out there. We love everybody. we're all in the same thing, kind of trying to do our own angles on stuff and move the conversation forwards and get to the truth of the matter, like you stated there, Mike.
Right.
Obviously, being British, I can talk the hind legs off a donkey. So, I have a propensity to. I'm kind of like the filler.
No, that's not a bad thing, George. You bring a lot to the conversation, and it's needed. So
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it as well. There are sometimes with these different shows and platforms, we don't all get along with each other sometimes, which has been the case between Disclosure Tonight and Vetted for a lot of years now. Unfortunately, we tend to stay away from that, the drama, but it does come up sometimes. So we do our best to try to go above and beyond it and just focus on what the truth is and getting to the bottom of it.
Yeah. It's interesting times. I mean, on multiple levels, from financial right the way through to bigger events that are reported on. Trying to get the truth of the matter it's becoming more difficult. Like the previous gentleman from the Vatican Observatory said, like pretty soon we're going to have so much AI generated things that we're maybe not going to be able to tell fact from fiction. We need to keep our critical thinking caps on. We need to be able to remain objective and kind of combat these forces that are trying to work on us either consciously or subconsciously. We'll walk into the places where people are buying newspapers and things, and those headlines sit in. You may not read them, but they sit in and you'll see them. Yeah.
100%. Scooby, Kathy, you guys are completely right. Money and power corrupts. That's why everybody knows here on the Galactic Family Podcast, I do this show out of the love of my heart and for everybody here to push the disclosure movement, and any funds, any money, any super chats, any memberships, any fees, any money that comes into this podcast goes directly out at the end of the year to our animal outreach program that we do for sheltered animals that are in precarious situations. They need help as well too, and they don't have a voice, so we give it to them.
Yep.
So Jay, that means that you're doing this work for free and not generating any profit from it?
No. Zero profit from this whatsoever, Mike. Last year in November, we donated over $1,000 worth of pet supplies to the local animal shelter in need.
Yeah, right, which is exactly, why Thomas and I do this as well. We don't get paid.
No.
We're not getting a paycheck for the work that we do, the time that we put in. Right. So yeah, I understand, and you know what? That's a good thing, because if you are going to be getting a paycheck and you're going to be told what to say and what to do, that's not being honest, and it's not something that I think helps to get to the truth. So we appreciate your efforts, and we do the same thing. So we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
We don't do this for the money.
No.
Right. Obviously. But
there's much more better things to do. If I really wanted to go get some money, I would go out and get a job or go do something. But this is what I want to do. I want to spread the word of disclosure. I want to get the word out there. I want to do more, than what I've done before.
Right. Absolutely. No, listen, Thomas has a day job. He works hard for that. If he were to get paid for the time that he puts in, it would be a ridiculous amount of money that he would be earning. So we don't do this for the money. Absolutely. I'm retired. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not doing this for a paycheck. I'm doing this to get to the truth for everybody, which is what it's about. Mm-hmm. But not everybody is like that. There are people out there who do exactly this for the money. They're trying to get clicks. They're trying to get donations. They want to earn a paycheck in doing this. But, it's funny because there is no job market for disclosure.
No.
No company is going to pay you or give you benefits to be pursuing this. So if you're doing it for a paycheck, you're in the wrong line of work, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Lady.
For me, your disclosure is my reconciliation from what I've experienced in my childhood. So I'm with you all the way, and everything that I do is voluntary, even supporting public first contact with the embassy.
Yes, that's another one also that I failed to mention. Thank you, Lady. That we are avid supporters for the AED. What is it? The AE
Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact.
Yeah, AEDC. And for the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact, and for the embassy that will be built hopefully sometime in the near future in Africa. I'm hoping somewhere in Africa is going to be the extraterrestrial embassy, hopefully. Go ahead, Lady.
I've got an update about the embassy.
Do you?
There's
Okay.
a strong possibility that it's going to be in Gaza because there's some negotiations that are happening there at the moment right now as we speak.
Really? That's interesting. So, I might have to pick your brain later about that one. Yeah, Gaza. Okay. So, extraterrestrial embassy in Gaza. I could see that. If, as long as Israel and Gaza will get along, there can't be any more off fighting amongst them. If it's going to be there, it has to be a peaceful place to put this.
Peace and love.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on here. We're going to move on to what do the UFO files show? And this is Eric Burleson, the new drop.
Are we trying to prepare the American people with a slow drip, drip, drip tease of this stuff? If not, then Congressman, I would say, if this is all we've got, then I'm not sure that there's anything the American government really has that tells us anything about the existence of aliens. I'm just beginning to feel like this entire story is teased out always just beyond our reach.
I can sense your frustration. I've experienced it personally myself. I've seen videos that I think are in the process of being declassified, so I think that there is more to come. If they're not going to be disclassified, I'll probably do an effort to release them myself under speech and debate. But again, a lot of the footage that I've seen is similar to what has been released today. There's some that are pretty interesting, and especially given the environment and the circumstances of the videos, whether they are videos of UAPs that are flying around Russian submarines, or a video of our aircraft that are firing on some of these UAPs. I've seen those kind of videos, and so I'm teasing that because I know that I'm telling the administration through you at this moment that if they don't release those, then I have the capabilities of getting those videos in.
So even if those videos don't come out, he can release them through speech and debate. So now we have an off ramp on how they can get other information out other than, proper channel.
Yeah, and the other nascent point there, I think, is the fact that there are videos, multiple videos. Remember the Hellfire missile video?
Yeah.
There's multiple videos of similar incidents. I think that's news. That's like, we are firing on these things.
Yeah, that's pretty huge there. And I don't know. I just think it's a big mistake to fire on something that's unknown, that you have no idea what you're doing.
Maybe that's how science works, or maybe that's how knowledge frontiers are pushed, but it doesn't speak much for diplomacy in that regard.
No, it doesn't at all. And we have another good friend of the show, Steve Bassett. He's going to be talking about voicing his opinion from what he thinks will happen, opinion on the recent drop, and what he thinks is going to happen next.
Well, not him. It's Pentagon telling him what to do everything every step of the way. He's not.
He and the Congress and those committees and all of those members of Congress, including and the Senate, that have been really pushing this. They have a strategic plan. They've been trying to advance this, and they've had success. They have really pushed it forward. Okay, but I'm still convinced that the strategic plan of the managers of the truth embargo, both in government and defense contractors, which are many of these programs are run by former government. Their strategic plan is to hang on to this until hell freezes over. They're not prepared to come forward yet, and they.
So, just to pause it there, do you think, Mike, that's why if some of these people are not ready to come forward yet, do you think that's why we've been given a historical drop, meaning like most of the files in there are all historical from 1940s, 50s?
Those files have also been released previously that we got the drop, the first one from. So they're giving us things that we already had. So I don't know if they're doing that because they want to get their toes wet and see how the public responds to it. I could tell you that when they first dropped these files, there were over 350,000 views in the first 12 hours, and it almost doubled in 24 hours. So the public has a strong interest in this information, but we haven't gotten anything that is new currently with that last drop. So we'll see what we get next moving forward, in my opinion, Jay.
All right.
Yeah, solid. And I also think the expression drip drip, what we want is a snowball effect. We want the snowball to kind of get bigger and gain momentum to a point where it results in the smoking gun for everybody, right? That's what we want.
Well, I can give you a spoiler alert real quick. If they ever get those videos that Representative Luna had given a list out to, Representative Eric Burleson saw those videos already, all of them. And he stated that in all of those videos, if they were to come public, there is no smoking gun in any of those videos when and if they do release them. So even if we get it, it's still not going to be the snowball that everybody is looking for. Just a heads up.
Maybe I've got my hopes up too high, and I want that kind of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 drop resulting. Yeah. But I think.
I'm with you. I want them to drop it all now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm with you. So does the public.
Yeah, I think the public. I think the Dan Farrar film Age of Disclosure. In the community, people who'd seen the film or have watched, I recommend everybody watches it. It's good for people who have a slight passing interest in the topic. Maybe this so-called tranche of documents released by from the Department of War is again just to reaffirm that, to bring more people into this discussion. And then the hope is that it ramps up in the next drop, and then it ramps up again. But like, I'm with you, Mike. Like, just open the floodgates and let it go.
Oh yeah, just put it all out there, because we'll dig into it and come up with whatever we can find out about the information that they put out there. But we're supposed to be getting drops like this pretty regularly, either every week or every other week or every 30 days. So for now, at least, there's something to look forward to, in my opinion.
Excuse my, I'm obviously over the pond in the UK, so I don't follow the US politics as much as I perhaps should. But has an executive order been signed by the President of the United States on this particular topic? Or is it just a request?
No, he talked about he's going to be dropping a memo. A presidential memo about this, but no executive order. Now, he's been busy writing a lot of other executive orders that he uses his magic marker to sign, but not on this topic for some reason. I couldn't tell you why that is. I wish that wasn't the case. I know a lot of the obstacles that still stand in the way of these files coming out to the public is the classification. And if he was to issue that executive order, it would declassify this information once and for all. So why that hasn't been done yet, I don't know. But I do know that if he were to do something like that, it would probably make this information flow a lot faster right now.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if right at that kind of power center, there's, you know, the briefing that he's been given, there's a reason perhaps that the memo is one thing, but an executive order is just too much.
I don't know. I could tell you that on Disclosure Tonight, Thomas and I remind the audience that at the time that we had the drone flap in New Jersey, then President Trump, who was campaigning to get elected, had stated that he is aware of the truth to the drones, and there's no reason why the then sitting President Joseph Biden wasn't releasing it to the American people. And at the minute that he would be elected and the first day in office, he would bring the truth out to everybody. Well, we saw how that played out. When he did get elected, eventually he had his press secretary completely make a statement that they can't discuss what the drones are, but there's no cause for alarm, and that the FAA is aware of what it is, and that's it. That's the only information you're going to get. So we were disappointed in that.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case with this now, with Disclosure.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We had Nick Pope on with a bunch of us before with Gene, and he was talking about how the president could do it with his executive power, and I'll just bring it up and let him explain it to you here.
Okay.
POTUS says, I want anyone who is sitting on classified information on UAP relating to, I mean, not the UAS stuff, not the China, Russia, our own stuff, but if any of this is ET or NHI related, then for POTUS to say, look, if any of it is, I as POTUS am giving an executive order that this will be declassified. I am the ultimate declassifying authority, because of the powers vested in me. And further to that, anybody who believes, rightly or wrongly, that they are still held by the terms of an NDA or a secrecy agreement, just ring fence it, relating to a non-human intelligence. We're not wanting to push classified information on UAS or other things out there. But if anyone's got a spaceship in a hangar, look, being blunt about it, I, as President of the United States, am declassifying that. I'm releasing anyone from any NDAs they think they might still be. And I am ordering you to actually put it out there. Take that information to Arrow. Take it to Congress, whatever the process is.
100%. 100%.
Oh, Nick was absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
100%. But I guess it remains to be seen if we get that. I hope we do, but we'll see, because we haven't gotten it yet.
I think hope is a really powerful force.
It is.
I think hope
can be.
I think it's a powerful force when things are seem bleak, and you might feel a bit down at the situation. Somebody who is hopeful can raise the vibration of everybody, to use those words. But I think the more people want what Nick has said just then the more that gains an energy of its own, and the drip becomes the flood, becomes the snowball, or whatever term you want. I think,
Which is why I keep saying we'll just have to wait and see what comes with each drop. Hopefully, more and more information with what they bring out. So
each drop is hopefully going to add a spider web more of information to what we already have. That way we can have multiple ways to research.
Well, look, I'll give you a quick example. Let's take a look at the first drop.
Yeah.
We got confirmation in audio and video about NASA, never a straight answer, not a space agency, and how they claim there's never been any evidence of anything that was non-prosaic to their knowledge. But we found out from this first drop, they lied about that. They knew damn well what was going on with the Apollo craft and with the Gemini craft. So at least at the very bottom line, we got confirmation that we were right all along about NASA and what they've been telling the public.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take that as a plus and a step in the right direction.
Yeah, as soon as Tim's able to, Tim is in the back chat. He just doesn't have his audio connected yet. Once he connects his audio, we'll bring him up for you, Mike, and we'll have a discussion up here about religion and
yeah, we'll have a great conversation.
Yeah,
I'm looking
definitely.
forward to it. Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to bring out here is that also about us on this podcast, we're about collaboration and getting the word out there about different projects that are going on. We have our good friend Gene Stitko. He's out there promoting his new documentary that's about to drop soon, hopefully. Infinity Disclosed. Love it. I'll go ahead and we will. Oh, wait, did he drop out? He did drop out. Okay. He'll be back, hopefully.
He'll be back. He will.
Let's go ahead and play the trailer to Gene Stitko's upcoming documentary.
Oh, this would be good.
I was a little bit shocked. He was working on something very secret.
The history is real and accurate. What is this saying? Oh, it's technical specifications of the UFO. The electrical engineering is real and accurate.
It was a manual how to construct the UFO.
That original math is accurate.
It was literally a blueprint.
These documents were part of the official Soviet program. It's legit material.
People are a little upset that this book is out there.
This was dangerous for him to put it out.
The people that it seemed to benefit the most were the ones pushing back the hardest, which raised a really big alarm bell for me.
Logic and reason would tell me they shouldn't match anything.
Technology he describes is not 21st century, it's like 22nd century.
And all of the science points directly into the United States government.
You'd think that that would be something that they'd want. Because the people deserve to know the truth.
There's things in there that can change humanity.
I don't think they really want to see any change. He didn't have to fight anymore. He has other people fighting for him. The future doesn't belong in classified vaults.
Oh, I'm excited for this one. I mean, like for one, the story when Gene came on and we spoke to him and we kind of tucked into the how this was it engineering infinity occurred. How the book came to be. It's fascinating, and Gene is really an astute, level-headed, down-to-earth individual. Just on a human level, I think he's awesome, right? The documentary is going to be, well, I mean, you can see from the production quality there how it's going to be good. I really believe his story needs to get out further, and I think if this is a vehicle for that information, then I hope it rides really well. Like all the best, Gene and Natalia and the production crew involved.
100%. Moving on, we've got one more that we will go into here, which is our good friend from Wizard Pictures from XV. They're allowing us to show this. We're going to show another another Dan Burrish, their preview for their interview as well, for their Dan Burrish's The True Story of J-Rod.
J-Rod.
Good night, Dan.
I was told non-stereos weren't real. Then I found out they are, that they live in the hearts of men. My name is Dan, no wife, no kids. I should not be talking to you, I really shouldn't. 4th stage, I'm dying, glioblastoma.
I'm sorry.
What are they gonna do? Kill me twice? I hope you've got security. They'll come for you next. They always do. The first time I went down now, I was 29. They made me sign things, threatened everything they care about. Not that there is much.
First day?
Yeah,
Do not get lost.
buried beneath the test range, the lab, the checkpoints. I'm a microbiologist. So many years underground, shutting my mouth. I used to love it. S4. Sorry, I'm jumping around. My head's a mess since the seizures.
Case 15, clean sphere ready.
That day I thought I was hallucinating. The fear, the smell. I met him, you know. The J-Rod, they call him. He showed me everything. I'm out.
I know. Majestic thanks you.
Go fuck yourself.
I'll miss you.
Beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all.
Hello. Mike's mute.
Nope. That was from Wizard Pictures. Dan Burrish's documentary coming out. Got special permission to show it. Thought we would show it to you guys and show you the previews that are coming out for these new documentaries.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Tim is going to reemerge. Hopefully, he will do. Cross fingers. The guy's very, very busy. We understand. But yeah, if he's got a green light to come on and have a chat, please do so.
Well,
yeah.
I told him we'd be here for about another 20 minutes, so hopefully he joins us. But
okay,
if not, we'll just continue along with the discussion. We have next topic, which would be that the CIA has raided Tulsi Gabbard's office.
Yeah, I heard about
John,
this.
the CIA just raided Tulsi Gabbard's office. Agents hauled out dozens of boxes, files on the JFK assassination and MK Ultra, the CIA mind control operation, which she was in the process of declassifying. Today's whistleblower said it during his deposition, and Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna confirmed it moments ago.
The reason why this is troubling is, A, there was an executive order that the president had directed the full declassification of JFK, but then also to the MK Ultra files. The CIA famously has said that, all documents were released and other documents had been destroyed. So these are allegedly those documents that apparently never existed.
Can the CIA overrule the president?
Yes. Obviously, I guess. I mean, they walked in and they took him.
Plot twist: the agents who came in were MK Ultra themselves. They didn't know what they were doing.
And then we have another one that came out after this.
confirm that the CIA has indeed seized these 40 boxes related to your investigation?
Look, we're getting conflicting information, but based on what we're hearing, we are pretty confident that they did indeed seize 40 of these boxes that were not scanned. And so until we can really get to the bottom of this is obviously very troubling, especially being that, you have reports coming out, obviously given topics, and then also the fact that there was a direct executive order by the president to declassify these things. So we're sorting it out. But as a precaution, we are sending a preservation of documents to the CIA in the next hour or so from House Oversight. And what I will also say is that I have requested personally, even tonight, to go see which documents were taken by the CIA from ODNI. And that request, they said that they might make time at a later date.
Isn't didn't Mike, did you say that the ODNI was in charge of Arrow?
Yeah, they oversee Arrow.
Okay.
They answer directly to the ODNI.
That's interesting that they took these files out of there.
Oh yeah, it's very interesting, especially with the behavior that Matthew Brown, the whistleblower who reported the Immaculate Constellation report to Congress, had stated that he was called in by the Directors Initiative Group, the DIG in ODNI, and was lied to by them, and they tried to discredit him actively. So there seems to be an element that oversees Arrow in the ODNI that is acting in a rogue fashion, according to some of these whistleblowers, which is disturbing, to say the least, Jay.
It's really disturbing to think that our own president doesn't have the ultimate authority that he should have over these programs.
Oh, I agree. And he's also publicly stated that he doesn't have direct knowledge of a lot of these programs or this information.
Is this just a case of a few bad eggs or bad apples, if you want to use that term, or is this something a little bit more sinister, do you think, Mike?
I think this goes back to the conversation we had earlier about the Collins elite group within the U.S. government that has very strong religious beliefs that caused Lou Elizondo to resign his position in the Pentagon. I think this group still exists and is still operational within the U.S. government. And this DIG group out of ODNI seems to be following that type of, they're conducting those types of operations, I think, still to this day.
Yeah.
Do you think that's out of fear of losing control or fear of being caught doing something very, very naughty? Or do you think this is fear of, loss of control and power? That must be like the interplay here. I'm just, behind the screen.
Well, some of these people believe that this phenomenon is based on demons and doesn't want to know any more information and wants to keep it out of the public eye. But some of it also has to do with the fact that there's a lot of money involved in this topic.
Yeah.
And government has kept this a secret for 80, 90 years easily. And there was a huge military industrial complex that directly benefits from the funding, the black budget funding. I mean, look, the Pentagon receives nearly $1 trillion a year. And for the past 26 years, they have failed every audit as far as to account for the money that they received. They just can't. So it's going somewhere. So this could be about the money. This could be about religious beliefs. It could be a combination of things, in my opinion.
Okay.
I am a career CIA operations officer. And as you mentioned, I was
But it's certainly something that when Tim arrives, we can ask him his opinion about as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Office of Director, National Intelligence.
Because he's interacted with that group as the acting head of Arrow. So he would have knowledge of them and how they're operating.
I am a career CIA operations officer.
It'll be an interesting conversation.
I was on joint duty assignment at the Office of Director, National Intelligence, Directors Initiatives Group, or the DIG, between March 2025 and April 2026. I was responsible for leading the DIGS investigation into COVID origins, anomalous health incidents, and unidentified anomalous phenomena. I'm here today to discuss the COVID cover-up, the national security implications associated with the DIGS investigative findings, and CIA refusal to comply with lawful oversight, as well as how we remedy these problems. The CIA illegally monitored the computer and phone usage of DIG personnel, their investigations, and contact with whistleblowers.
Okay, you have a
These
video
were
playing right now
Americans
on the show,
being
right?
spied upon
Yeah.
illegally.
I don't hear the audio from the video. I just hear you. It's got to be StreamYards.
I hear the
Yeah, it's probably
Charlie.
StreamYard.
While
Yeah,
executing
don't worry about
duties
it.
directed by
I
the
just wanted to let
President
you know.
and under the authority of the Director of National Intelligence. You must be willing to pull the purse
it's fine.
strings, and if necessary, convene another church committee.
He's saying pretty much to you, if you want the truth to come out, Mike, you should convene another church committee. That's what this CIA whistleblower is pretty much saying.
That's 100% correct. Frank Church was able to expose all of the illegal activity that the Central Intelligence Agency was committing. We would definitely benefit from another type of committee like that, looking into this and the government and what they've been hiding.
100%.
Jay, can you do me a favor? That clip that was just playing, could you send that? Could you post it on the Discord chat later for me, please?
Yes, that was. Let me see here.
That clip specifically, because when he gives his opening statement, the CIA whistleblower speaks a few different areas that he was assigned to work in.
Yep,
And
I got it. I'll put that in the chat.
Whilst the UAP area is obviously of interest to us, I think the two previous ones, which I didn't quite catch, are also relatively important as well here, I think.
Yeah, 100%. There's one thing, let's see here. There's a couple things here, actually. I wanted to show this video because that's another reason, we love collaborating, getting more information out there with people because, looking at different things on different channels and everything and bringing it out to more people. I saw this on Disclosure tonight when you guys brought it out, and it was
spiky orb.
Amazing.
It looks like a boss from the end of level.
Oh my God, that's the Ukraine video of that object. Wow.
Yeah, that's the stabilized Ukraine video.
Now, if you're looking at the stabilized video, at one point in this video, you'll see it's kind of angled where you could see the back of it as well.
Yeah.
That's something the audience needs to see because it shows you the structure of what we're looking at, not just front on. There we go.
Yeah, you can see the actual sides of it here that actually has some structure and depth into this object.
Exactly. And I still don't know what the hell it is.
If the central glowing orb flashes red, that's where you need to aim the laser in the middle. It's crazy. It's crazy. It looks like something out of a Japanese anime, but it's real. It's
real.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing. Yeah, it's incredible. This is,
I've noticed
and it's fascinating that it came out of the Ukraine, of all places. Because a lot of activity over Ukraine has been for a long time now because of the conflict. So these UAPs seem to be popping up there quite regularly, as well as the Middle East with the conflict we have currently going on.
Oh, yeah.
I see that it's also kind of like emitting like a fog.
A lot of the videos that Jeremy Corbell released in Sleeping Dog, the documentary, we actually saw the unredacted GPS coordinates, and we ran them on the show on Disclosure Tonight. It was a lot of these sightings were over Iraq and Iran, where these objects occurred. So it seems to be geopolitical hotspots tend to attract the UAP objects.
Mike, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, can you hear Lady Danielle okay?
Can you
no,
hear me
I haven't heard
right?
her speak up recently. But then again, it could be
I was-
StreamYards as well.
Bizarre.
That is so bizarre.
Bizarro.
Can you?
I can hear Lady Danielle.
Yeah.
Jay can hear Lady Danielle. Mike can't hear Lady
I can't. I can't hear her.
Oh, that's why you were talking over me.
Yeah, you have to. Jay, listen, we use Google Meet for the guests, as you are well aware of, to come on Disclosure tonight. I would suggest looking into that. It's very effective, very simple and straightforward, and we don't have any of the issues that StreamYard seems to be notorious for.
Yeah, but we're slowly getting into it. Once we move, like I said, once we get into the new building, once we get into this new building on like the first or second week and everything, then we'll be able to set everything up then. And don't forget also BNA Arts. BNA Arts will be there as well. That is my lovely girlfriend Brooke's new company that she's going to be starting for quartz and any arts that you want done, like crystal. What is it?
Crystal carving.
Crystal art. Yeah, diamond art. That's what it's called.
Okay. Lady
you know that video? Yeah, you know that video that you had earlier on with it was like bluey with a white UFO.
And if you need a hand with anything setting it up when you get the new studio together, Thomas and I would be more than happy to give you a hand.
Sure. No, not that one. Not that one. The other one.
Okay, sorry, Mike. We've got some communication issues going on here. Lady Danielle's just asking to pull up a video of previously shown here of a glowing white blue orb. Is this the?
Oh, which one is
the other one? The other one. The one, the disc, the one that looked like a disc moving around. No, not that one. It's bluey background.
Bluey background.
I wonder what, like maybe Tim got called away at the last minute again. I don't know. Hopefully he can like get on before.
Yeah,
the,
later on.
Later on, okay. Those look like boats in water and some.
No, must be the other one. What that one? What was that one? No, it's not that one. It was the other. No. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Now play my video.
Oh, I see. Okay, so.
There's yours. Okay, hold on.
So, Mike, we've got a video that from Sunderland, UK, comparative to the previous video. Interesting.
That's my mum's mothership.
What was that? Wow.
Okay.
That went pretty quick.
As it is right now, George, any of the videos that are being played in the background, I can't hear. Right. So I'm just watching everything go along, and we've dealt with a lot of these videos as well, so I'm probably familiar with it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
100%. And just anybody tuned in, Mike Disclosure is joining us from Disclosure tonight. Thomas Fessler and Mike Disclosure. Please go and follow, like, and subscribe their channel as well. The live broadcasts happen very regular, and it's always a great place to listen to informative insight, discussion, and ideas. I think is a great thing you guys have going there. You've got a lot of interaction with a lot of people, lot of intelligence, intelligent people, and intelligence being created. It's a great place to hang out for sure.
Well, I guess we will start to wrap it up, George, because he hasn't gotten back to me again. So
no problem. He popped in, Mike, and then disappeared again. Apologies.
Yeah. We'll try to set it up again for you. So you guys, we can all sit down and have a great conversation about disclosure and, hopefully getting better information out.
For real.
Just showing everybody. This is a friend of mine made me a cartoon character, so I thought I'd show that.
Select player 1.
Yeah, select player 1.
Insert
It's like
27.
Japanese anime.
Yeah, special moves.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
That's cool, man.
I like it.
All right.
Then we'll have B&A Arts on the one side, Galactic Family Podcast on the other. Got different things going on. Different things in the background. We have the Discord channel as well going on with our research group, CE5 group. We have a meditation group in the background that meets, that talks about everything about consciousness. If anybody has anything else to add, Lady George,
Daniel,
I'm not sure what to add.
Okay. I was just going to say I wanted to really thank Mike Disclosure for coming in today. Thank you so much, Mike. It's been a pleasure. Really good to have another chat with you. I know we've chatted a couple of times in the past. So yeah, much respect to Mike Disclosure from Disclosure Tonight coming in to talk to us here on the Galactic Family Podcast, and to extend an invite to you directly, Mike, to come into our Discord chat and come and have a chat with us, and would be more than happy to accommodate you there. I know you're very busy and in retirement as well, and you've got a lot of stuff happening, but from all of us here, thank you so much, Mike. I think he may have dropped out with his internet.
No.
Thank you.
They got him.
You got him.
They got him.
Oh, they got him.
Hopefully, when he watches the replay, he'll see the bit at the end there. And yeah, thank you very much to Film TV Biz, Scooby Dooby Gooby, Retro Doomsday, Kathy 1944, and everyone who's tuned in. We'll be back. What's the next schedule? Next week? Next Friday? Phenomena Pulse?
We will probably be next Friday. Phenomenon Pulse be another Friday episode, and we'll see where the episode takes us. I'm thinking let's go into more into I don't know. We'll see.
More alien stuff. More alien than alien. And thank you.
Consciousness, phenomenon stuff, cryptids. We could do a lot of things.
And thank you, Lady Danielle, for joining us as well. It was much appreciated.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on as well.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you.
Then next month we will see you guys at our new location. And
just who did the logo? I think it was a rock star, wasn't it?
Yep, that was
a big special shout out to Planet Popstar there.
Yep, and Planet Popstar is also going to be. She didn't design this one, B&A Arts, but she said she, looking into designing my girlfriend a little
I like it. It's clean. It's clean.
A neon sign.
Yeah, it's clean. B&A Arts. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Just a little more pizzazz though, and I think Planet Popstar's got the idea.
I think it works well. It's clean.
So we'll see you guys on the flip side for next Friday, and if you guys want, you can pop on the Discord, pop on YouTube, see our other episodes that we have, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Mike, it was always a pleasure, and I will see you probably on Disclosure Tonight.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Thing is real. It can't be.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
There is no spoon.
Let me be clear. UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government, monitoring sensitive military installations around the world.
UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying overhead.
is Nick Pope, formerly from the British UFO Desk, and you're listening to the Galactic Family Podcast.
The signal has been received. The truth is still unfolding. The signal will continue with you.